We are in Birmingham, Alabama, and when you're in Birmingham, there's one place you gotta go. It's the Mine Side.
Right up there.
There it is. Brett, we're gonna go on a cribs tour of your spot because it's incredible.
This is a former door and window showroom. And for me, it's all about vision. And what I saw when I came in here, they tried to put me on another building, another room here in this building. I went, I want space. I want a place where I can do training. And I want something that makes people think when they walk in the door. I don't want to be the traditional shrink's office. I want something different. So let's go inside. Every good doctor's office has to have an entryway, but I didn't want the stuffy mentality feeling. And as a clinical psychologist, I don't want people to feel stressed when they come in. I want the sports feel, so that's why we have jerseys on the wall. We have a front desk, people come in and hang out, and there's windows where people can look at other folks out there putting, working on their games. This is a putting green, so it's a 1,000 square foot putting green, and it actually runs at about a 10 or 11 on the stem. We had it built out by Southwest Greens, came in, spent some time. We dropped some walls to give it a little bit more of a feel, but just like today at the US Open for the women, we had about 7 or 8 different players over here working on their games because they're in a rain out. And it was a great place for to come in. So juniors can come in and train. Anybody who's a part of the Mine Side can come in and train. We have a hitting bay. I don't do just golf, but this is the easiest thing to put in. So putting green works 4 different areas. You can chip on it. So some of my early clients are Heath Slocum, and then other folks, Jon Rahm, Brian Harmon, Chris Stroud when he won his first tour event in Reno, Lucas Glover, Stephen Yeager, who shot 58 on the web and has won now 4 times on the web tour. This is Kevin Chappell, who I worked with for the first couple years of his tour, doing great. GMAC from the US Open last year. Harris English, Patton Kazire, 2015 web.com player of the year, and now 2-time winner on the PGA Tour. To me, I have a philosophy that, we're all climbing our own mountain, and mountain climbers plant the flag when they do something great. So while I would love to have, let's see, in the last year, I want to say we've had 8 or 9 victories on the PGA and European and Web Tour, maybe 10, maybe more than that. I'd like to get a flag from every one of those victories. Unfortunately, that's almost impossible. So we just look at one flag and say, well, he's won 4 times, so that's pretty cool. But if I had my way, I'd have a flag for every top 5 finish that every one of my players has, because I think a top 5 is where you plant the flag.
What was of any of these, what do you think was the turning point for you? Of like when you feel like you took a next step as being able to help people achieve what they wanted to?
It's a great question. I think the best thing that happened was when I started realizing the power of self-belief and got people to believe not in a system and not in anything that I would teach them, but teach them to believe in their system and the electricity goes out. I guess we're not paying our electric bill. What the biggest switch for me was getting people to believe in themselves and finding their pathway and not be chasing all the different struggles, but instead to focus on what makes them successful and reduce a lot of the noise that they had. When people build their self-belief, they become very successful. So if you look at that board, every one of those players plays differently, but it's most importantly, they trust how they play. So these flags are, I think I brought them out to the side because I think they're just cool. Brian Harmon came in second last year, tied for second at the US Open in Erin Hills. What I loved about what Brian did at Erin Hills is everybody sees this massive course. Brian's one of the best players I've ever seen. I love every guy I work with. And he defines exactly the Mine Side way. Find what makes you tick and own it. And he went head to head, had the 63-hole lead in Erin Hills, so it's a nice little touch there. John from the Masters, and then Stephen Yeager when he qualified for the US Open last year. So my goal is ultimately to have every one of these walls filled. We also have other sports in here, articles that have been done on Golf Magazine or other players that I've worked with along the line. My work for University of Alabama and the coaches that I've gotten material from, University of Northern Kentucky, and different sports. So
what's the breakdown of your golf clients in Golf World versus other sports and stuff?
I would say it's probably 70-30, and not including University of Alabama and other universities. So when I'm doing private clients, professionals and stuff, it's probably 70-30. Gotcha. But a lot more in golf, which is funny, I didn't play college golf. And then conference room, and this is one that I think is always cool. Let me take a look at this. This is, if you've listened to the Mine Side podcast, you've heard 2 episodes of Chad Metcalf, who is a former Navy SEAL, SEAL Team 4, who's now chasing the tour as a professional golfer, is doing very well. He hand carved that, and I think it's fascinating. That's the Seal Trident, and my dad was military, so anything that I can have that does that is awesome. One of our, like I said earlier, Matt Wilson, one of our early podcast guests. This is another one too, if you want to pull back. If you're a baseball fan, if you can find out who the 2 royalty members are here, this is me as a freshman in high school. We won the national title in 1991 and went to the White House. That's H.W. Bush. There's Joe DiMaggio and Ted Williams.
That's amazing.
And about 10 major leaguers in that picture, not me though. Just honored to be a part of those guys. So I found it in my basement. I was like, I gotta frame that, that's pretty special. Let's go upstairs and take a look and see what's up there. So what makes this place great, besides the electricity dropping out, is that we have tons of space to do things. So this is our filming cube. We are launching the Mindset Academy here real soon, which is an online training academy across multiple sports. It's all mindset. And if you think you know what the mindset's all about, go to the Mindset Academy. We're gonna teach you a whole new way of doing things. So we do our filming in here. So in here is Megan Gilbert, who, because we've struggled with weather today, everybody went home. Megan is one of the up-and-comers in the mental skills training world, and great person to have in the mind side as one of our team members, but really more importantly, that a really great sounding board for me. This is our video team and our creative. As you can tell, anytime a video team has a chance to be creative, they got to put lights on the walls. This is a little bit of a podcast room that I use sometimes. It's really more of a closet. We have an extra office for a future practitioner, which we'll be bringing in very soon. And then down here is our creative cubes and a white wall, which every great office has got to have a white wall, right? So with ideas and old ideas that we've erased. And then we'll come into the rest of our team. Mike Ozipak is our director of marketing and development and all the things that go with it. And Brett Basham, who runs our online program, sits here. He's probably hiding from the camera. The cool thing is, what I love about it is Mike and Brett are both SEC baseball players. Alabama and Ole Miss both came out of the tree that I played under. So there's a lot of familiarity in the way we do things and the way we work. So this is the Mind Side. It's a pretty great place because it's there's really no other psychologist office like it, and we want to be different. But more importantly, it's a place that if people wanted to come in and train, they can. We'd love it to be packed every day like it was today, but the vast majority of the time people are outside working on their game.
So I think the question that people have is most sports psychologists have an office similar to your conference room, and that's it. You have this huge space, a large staff. What motivates you, or what are you trying to do here? What's the big vision?
So when I started back in 2009, I knew that the mental game was something that people did a lot of surface talk about, but nobody was really gonna make the investment. You're right, most people have a little office and it's about a percentage of their time. This is all we do at the Mind Side, is sports and performance. So your business, life, whatever, we're working to perform better. I want to change the game. And I want to bring sports psychology to the forefront and make it a standard. Everybody knows how important the mental game is to their overall performance. A few people are willing to make the investment, but I think some of that is because we as providers don't do a great job of making it easy for people to get involved. There's a stigma, there's something wrong, or there's some other factor they're not comfortable. So what I want to do is people to come in and feel comfortable coming in here. There are days I'm in shorts, there's days I'm wearing flip-flops. I want people to feel comfortable when they come in. My ultimate vision of the Mind Side is to bring sports and performance psychology to every level of every athlete and give each person the chance to find their pathway. So we've got different execution plans in place, Mindset Academy being one of them. And I think you'll probably see us in about 2 years move into a new building. We're going to build out a larger facility. Eventually, I'd love to have a training component to it where somebody can come in and do some physical training. Not for me, but for everybody else. And train athletes to perform better. But to me, we're sitting on the tip of a missile. And I hope to be one of the drivers of it. If somebody bypasses us and does it better than us, then I hope that we just started a game. But we are, as a Mind Side, we've got 7 team members now. We're going to be probably, if I had to guess, by the end of 2019, we'll be at 10 team members. And we just want to do it the right way and deliver content to as many people as possible.
Yeah. What is that message when you say change the game and you want to bring psychology or sports performance to everybody? What specifically do you want to bring?
Well, Sports and performance psychology does not need to be corrective. Right now, the model is that people wait till there's a problem and then they go seek help. Strength and conditioning is not corrective anymore. When I was playing ball back in the early 90s, it was corrective. Oh, I got a bad back, I need to go get fixed. Yeah. I'm losing velocity on my fastball, I'm not strong enough off the blocks. It's reactionary. Now, it's constructive. Kid turns pro, and the first thing they do is, hey, I want to work with somebody. No, I don't have a problem, I just want to be prepared. Right. For me, what I want sports and performance psychology to be, and the mind side, and the people who benefit because of it, is to say, look, why not engage with somebody that's going to help you eliminate many of the distractions and clutter in your life? You don't need to see us every week, but if you have a resource, if somebody's playing well, one of the things we see on tour is players work with us, or they'll come in, we'll get started, and I'll start working with them, and then someone will succeed pretty soon. Then what? Well, that's when we just get started. Yeah. Most people are so focused. Golfers practice to fix problems. They don't practice to master their sport. I want people to realize that your capability to plant your flag, to get to the top of your mountain, you got to do some work. And let's not define what that summit is yet. You don't know what it is. There's a major gap that happens in all sports with this potential versus reality thing. Everybody's caught up in what their reality is and where their potential is. I want to make it opposite. I want to get rid of potential, because what people believe in their own potential is much lower than I actually believe in themselves. Let's get our reality to be the best that we possibly can be and commit to that every single day. Let's see where it can take us. Yeah. And I think when players can do that, and athletes and parents, then they realize that sports and performance psychology can be like nutrition, strength and conditioning, a fabric of everything you do, not waiting until it's, so let's make it more constructive versus corrective.
Yeah, absolutely. It's easy to commit to the first month or the first week, but it's hard to commit to the next 10 years or the 20 years of the process of getting better.
And great athletes, great teams, organizations, whether it's Alabama football, San Antonio Spurs, LSU baseball, Detroit Red Wings, Golden State, they have a system underneath. The system is always bigger than the results, but they use those systems to generate results. I want people to realize I have a system. Now, if I told you to go out and hit balls a certain way or go out and practice basketball, it's not your way, it's my way. I want you to find your way. And by finding your way, we're gonna do that exploratory nature and figure out what makes you tick. Because I had a player who texted me today on tours like, dude, I didn't realize how valuable awareness without judgment is. He said, I was playing with a player who had a meltdown, made a total fool of themselves. And I looked at it and said, wow, I used to be that punishing to myself. Let me take a step back, take a look at how I can be different. And instead of wasting so much energy, let's take it to the next shot. Yeah. That to me, that's a light bulb moment. And so what I want them to do is use the resources, the online content, articles, videos, great books like Obstacles Away by Ryan Holiday or Ego is the Enemy, those types of books to find more about themselves. And we just want to be a vehicle.
Yeah. Well, that is the mind side. Thank you, Bhrett.
Thanks for coming in, man. Thank you. You got it.